Hi, this is Little Dwarf playing games while rambling incoherently into a microphone. Why? Well, just because I can, and this time I'll be playing Black Mesa. Now, I did play this game before, but it was when it was still a mod. I played the free version, and it was way before Xen, the final chapters in the alien world, were released, so I decided to give it a replay using the full release on Steam. First because I wanted to actually check the Xen levels, which this part, once I get to it, will be blind, because I never experienced those in the mod. But second, just because I wanted to support the developers after their years of hard labor bringing this game to life. So it'll be curious for me to see, what has changed compared to the free version, the mod that I played, if anything, in those beginning stages, and then of course Xen, the final levels, will be completely blind for me, so I'm eager to experience those. But I do remember I had a lot of fun even with the mod version, so it'll be cool to experience that again. Now, I'll be playing on hard difficulty, not because I'm particularly good at this game, or at shooters in general. It's actually quite the opposite. I would say I'm pretty mediocre as far as reflexes go, or general skill. It's just that I enjoy the challenge that a higher difficulty brings. If I get seriously stuck in one place, dying over and over, I'll probably speed it up or cut it out, or otherwise provide, timestamps in the description to allow you to skip it. But I guess that's all for the introduction. I'm going to start the game, and of course I'll go from the beginning. Now, curiously, it seems that in the full release you can just straight up go to Xen. All of the chapters are unlocked from the start, which I guess is because a lot of people, much as I did, played the original mod already, so they finished at Lambda Core, and they might have only wanted to check out the Xen levels, so I don't have a problem with that. But of course, I myself am going to start from the beginning, so let's go.
Good morning and welcome to the Black Mesa Transit System. This automated train is provided for the security and convenience of the Black Mesa Research Facility personnel.
No, this is actually Barney.
The time is 8:47 a.m. Current topside temperature is 93 degrees, with an estimated high of 105. The Black Mesa compound is maintained at a pleasant 68 degrees at all times.
Now, to be honest, I'm kind of perplexed by the people who dislike the original tram ride back in Half-Life 1, because I always thought that even there it was kind of atmospheric and interesting to see the scope and the size of the Black Mesa facility before the inevitable resonance cascade, spoilers, quote unquote. But I really feel like they've done a great job expanding it here. It's really quite beautifully done, the whole environment part of it. And it's really cool to see, all the scientists, the guards going on with their business when everything is still calm, and, the scope of it.
This train is inbound from level 3 dormitories. 2. Sector C test labs and control facilities. If your intended destination is a high security area beyond Sector C, you will need to return to the central transit hub in Area 9 and board a high security train. If you have not yet submitted your identity to the retinal clearance system, you must report to Black Mesa personnel for processing before you will be permitted into the high security branch of the transit system.
And overall, I really like the aesthetics of this mod, or of this game, I should say at this point. It's really quite impressive at times.
Due to the high toxicity of material routinely handled in the Black Mesa compound, no smoking, eating, or drinking are permitted within the Black Mesa transit system. Please keep your limbs inside the train at all times. Do not attempt to open the doors until the train has come to a complete halt at the station platform. In the event of an emergency, passengers are to remain seated and await further instruction. If it is necessary to exit the train, disabled personnel should be evacuated first. Please stay away from electrified rails and proceed to an emergency station until assistance arrives. A reminder that the Black Mesa Hazard Course Decathlon will commence this evening at 1900 hours in the Level 3 facility. The semifinals for high security personnel will be announced in a separate secure broadcast transmission. Remember, more lives than yours may depend on your fitness.
It's a cool piece of foreshadowing there, with lives depending on your fitness.
Do you have a friend or relative who would make a valuable addition to the Black Mesa team? Immediate openings are available in the areas of materials handling and low clearance security. Please contact Black Mesa personnel for further information. If you have an associate with a background in the areas of theoretical physics, biotechnology, or other high-tech disciplines, please contact our civilian recruiting team. The Black Mesa facility is an equal opportunity employer.
Now, those cargo-carrying robots were kind of strange always to me, because from what I remember, they are only seen and used in the intro, and they've got a special model and everything, animations for moving, and they're kind of impressive, but on the other hand, it's a little disappointing that you do not have the chance to interact with them further in the game. But it's still cool that they recreated them in Black Mesa.
To all Black Mesa personnel. Regular radiation and biohazard screenings are a requirement of continued employment in the Black Mesa Research Facility. Missing a scheduled urinalysis or radiation checkup is grounds for immediate termination. If you feel you have been exposed to radioactive or other hazardous materials in the course of your duties, contact your radiation safety officer.
There is the G-Man.
Work safe. Work smart. Your future depends on it.
Now, I always found it ironic that they talk about being exposed to radiation right as you pass along a radiation material spill. That's kind of, funny in its own way. And I guess it's intended to showcase the potential for screw-ups.
Before exiting the train, be sure to check your area for personal belongings. Thank you, and have a very safe and productive day.
Morning, Mr. Freeman. Looks like you're running late.
Now, there are actually two interesting things, well, vaguely interesting. I guess they are only interesting for people like me who like to look at every detail and every small, minute thing. But first, there is a newspaper around here called Inbound Times, and apparently the tram acquired a new, the team, that makes more sense, acquired a new grant, but you can see the photos of the scientists, and I think the one on the bottom right is actually a model from the original Half-Life, and there is also some litter. It's not that interesting, although it's a little disgusting because the trash can is right here, so you would have thought, cultured people such as scientists and generally well-educated people would have understood the function of a trash can, but apparently it was too much for them to throw it into the trash can as opposed to next to it. And there is also this, but unfortunately I can't really, it's about tram maintenance, but I can't really read the note because I don't have the HEV suit, and because of that I lack the zoom function, so it's a little annoying because I'm kind of interested to read what it says, but enough of that.
Barney's been pretty scarce around these parts. Guess his bar tab must have finally caught up with him.
That's a reference to the original Half-Life. Well, and I guess to Half-Life 2 as well, because in the original, all security guards, when you talk to them, eventually said something along the lines, "Catch me later, I'll buy you a beer." And then in Half-Life 2, it was confirmed that Barney, the particular security guard, actually, owes you a beer. So I guess it was a reference to that, because the particular character of Barney could have been seen earlier on. It was confirmed that it was him in the expansion Blue Shift, but
bother putting in extra hours down at the hazard course. Like you'll ever do more than flip a switch or push a button around here.
Oh, you'll see what I do. But they also added a lot of additional dialogue to the characters, so it's interesting to try to always talk to them to exhaust the unique lines they got, so I'm going to do that.
To think, Mom wanted me to waste my money sleeping through college courses when now I'm getting paid to sleep out here. Go on, get. How am I supposed to catch my beauty sleep when you're staring at me like that? Sorry, Mr. Freeman, I'm on duty right now. We can talk on my lunch break. Has anybody ever told you you're a cunning linguist?
I'm not sure. How should I interpret that? Because from what I understand, it's a what's the word? It's a pun on the word cunnilingus, but I'm not sure how the security guard would even know about Gordon's sexual proclivities, not to mention comment on that, so...
Sorry, Doc, I have to stay at my post.
Well, I guess he could mean a literal cunning linguist, but it's still a weird thing to say, especially to someone who, at face value doesn't say anything, which maybe that was the point actually. It's a joke about Gordon being a silent protagonist, even though he isn't really, because if you talk to the NPCs, it's clear that in the universe, Gordon is actually saying something to them and they are responding, but it's up to you to imagine what exactly is he saying.
Man, this job is boring me to tears.
Oh, just wait like a half an hour.
Hey, catch me later. You, me, and Calhoun will go out and get that beer he owes you.
Yeah, another reference to Barney.
I can't, but maybe later. Not now. I'll stop by when I'm doing my rounds. Sorry, buddy, I got a job to do. Don't you have some buttons to push or something? Hey, catch me later. We'll talk about that science stuff some more. I'll meet up with you after my shift's over. Can we do this later? There are a lot of suits walking around today. Try to look busy. Can we do this later?
Okay, he's starting to repeat, so I guess it's time to enter the facility proper. So let's do that.
Aw, man, you cut the ponytail. Sellout.
This is actually a reference to the original model of Gordon, because he originally had a ponytail. I'm going to post a link in the description with more information and pictures about that. Oh, and that is a reference to Half-Life. I think it was called Decay, or was it Uplink? It was like a co-op demo in which you played as two female scientists. One of them was Dr. Gina Cross, and the other I don't remember.
Be sure to stop by the front desk. Hey, Mr. Freeman. I had a bunch of messages for you, but we had a system crash about, 20 minutes ago, and I'm still trying to find my files. Just one of those days, I guess. They were also having some problems down in the test chamber, too, but I think that's all straightened out. They told me to make sure you headed down there as soon as you got into your hazard suit.
Now, there's actually plenty of things to do here, even before the resonance cascade. For example, you can mess with this guy's computer. He's also talking with... This is literally scientists' models from the original Half-Life 1. Now, unfortunately, I can't yet read the conversation because I don't have Zoom. I guess I could return later on with HEV Suit, but I don't think this conversation screen actually repeats itself a couple of times through the game, so I'll have more opportunities. So we can mash on his keyboard and mess it up.
I'm expecting an important message.
It was an interaction that was already present in the original. It's faithfully recreated.
Gordon, don't touch that.
He actually gets more and more annoyed.
Go use another computer.
Yeah, and then goes, to guard it. And the second thing you can do here is you can actually enable the alarm under the desk here.
Hey,
It's happening!
cut it out!
It's happening.
My horoscope was correct.
Horoscope was correct.
Come on, Gordon. What are you trying to do? Get me into trouble? Yeah, I'm here.
What the hell's going on up there?
We had a little accident up here, sorry.
Yeah, well, that better be the last accident you have today. Understood?
Copy. Damn, Gordon.
Man, I love the thick, ironic layer of foreshadowing in all of the quotes, It better be the last accident you have today.
Gordo, you're on sundial. We need you on stopwatch. Hop to it.
That's pretty hilarious. Yeah, as I said, I'm going to...
Try hitting Control-Alt-Delete.
Quit looking over my shoulder. You're making me uncomfortable.
I'm going to talk to all of the NPCs pretty extensively, just to listen to all of their unique lines. So in case that bores you, I'm going to put timestamps in the description to the point where I actually proceed with something.
Time to make tracks, Gordon.
Okay, I think that's all for this one.
What are you doing still running around up here? We've been waiting all morning to begin the experiment. Gordon, please, go do what you've been hired to do.
That's actually pushing buttons.
Shouldn't you
mostly.
be doing the same?
That's a sick burn. Okay, that's all. Now, they've also added female scientists, which is, pretty nice, because obviously it's around year 2000, so there would be already be plenty of women working in such a big facility.
I can't be bothered right now. Maybe later, Gordon. Gordon, I'm in the middle of something here. Excuse me, Gordon, but I'm rather busy now. Just hold on for a moment.
Good morning, Dr. Freeman. Earlier, but the thermal protection system seems to be online now. Those TPS reports have gotten progressively worse. Hard to find good help these days. Yes, about that. We're going to need you to come in this weekend. What? I've already made plans. Oh, don't worry. You can always attend the next convention.
And this guy has such a sad face.
Drat. We can talk later, Gordon. Gordon, I'm busy.
Oh, would you look at that? Freeman actually did show up for work this morning. Looks like somebody here owes me lunch.
Good morning, Freeman. Shut up.
Now, it seems Gordon has a bit of a reputation already in Black Mesa for being late and not showing up to work.
Yep. There's a pepperoni pizza in my near future. Gonna get me one of them jumbo-sized Rudda grape sodas. Hoo. Man, I'm working up a mean hunger just thinking about it. What a Rudda. There are a lot of suits walking around today. Try to look busy.
Okay, that's a generic response.
There was someone downstairs asking about you. Or was it upstairs? Gordon, this had better be important. I thought not. Gordon, you know we both have more important things to be doing. Give me some space, Freeman.
Big day today, eh, Freeman? Can this wait? Go bother someone else, Gordon.
The sample was just sent down to the test chamber. I've got this under control, Gordon. Maybe later, Gordon.
Interesting that this door doesn't work. To be honest, neither does this one. It's just stuck open, as opposed to... Oh, there are some lab notices. Let's try to read those. Laboratories across the facility have been left in varying states of disorder. Staff are reminded causes a decrease. What? Causes a decrease in lab efficiency, not to mention the safety of staff. It seems to be missing a word somewhere. Like staff are reminded that something causes a decrease. Like staff are reminded that it causes or something. I think it should be like this. Using the laboratories, spot checks will be made throughout the day to monitor lab use, and dangerous or careless behavior will be dealt with severely. Okay, nothing that interesting, because there are a lot of small Easter eggs in the textures as well. Funny control descriptions or whatever on computers.
Gordon, I'm in the middle of something here.
Now here you can see the G-Men again discussing with a scientist. If you keep staring at them for some time, they will actually notice and bring down the blinds. Inscrutable utterances. That sounds very ominous, doesn't it? Something like the rest are pretty humorous, I guess. Incomprehensible droning. But there's just something about the word utterance that I find almost like ceremonial.
There was someone downstairs asking about you. Or was it upstairs?
You forgot to carry the 2. Or was it the 3? Somebody get me a calculator. Just hold on for one moment. Excuse me, Gordon, but I'm rather busy now. If this is anything less than a full-scale code red calamity, I'm not interested.
Again, just you wait about half an hour.
Not now, Gordon. I don't know about that, Dr. Truman. Seems to me that he's just spouting buzzwords in his research papers that he picked up from perusing popular scientific periodicals. Another improper use of the Boltzmann constant. Good heavens, the buffoon spelled Chandrasekhar limit incorrectly. And what in the blue blazes is a rafflecopter? You'll just have to wait until after the test.
Now, there are a lot of, chemical, formulas and scientific variables on those I guess those are whiteboards, but still. And I wonder if they actually, stand for something that's real, if it's... Because I've forgotten most of my high school chemistry, and even then I was never good at it. What's this? It looks like a drawing of a mushroom or something. I wonder if it amounts to something, like for a person who... I'm not going to stand here and try to decipher it, because, as I said, it would be pretty pointless. I've forgotten most of the things I ever knew, and even then... It wasn't much. But I wonder if you are scientifically inclined, if those... You can call Dr. something on exit about the Nobium 5. He needs it for that AI thing. Okay. I wonder if, if you would get something out of it, like an additional Easter egg. Like, for example, if maybe there are some funny mistakes in here that would be obvious for a scientifically inclined person, and they could actually be funny in some way, some mistake that no self-respecting scientist could ever make or something, but I'm just too stupid to notice it or to care.
You got the wrong airlock, Mr. Freeman. You know I can't let you through here. Look, buddy, I don't stand around and stare at you all day. Well, I do, but that's because it's my job. So, go do yours.
Yeah, there are a lot of additional funny dialogue pieces in this mod, so that's why it's worth it to go and talk to them.
Oh boy, look sharp. Here comes the administrator. Gotcha. Oh man, I got you good. Man, this job is boring me to tears. Hey, catch me later. You, me, and Calhoun will go out and get that beer.
Okay. To be honest, this whole episode will probably just be me exploring the facility pre-resonance cascade, so in case that doesn't interest you, just skip it.
Single-handedly responsible for inspiring my career in science.
How much recognition do you think you're going to get for reproduction, though?
You should focus on inventing something new and unique.
He does have a point.
Oh, but this is more than a replication, I assure you. For one, it shows how far our field has come since the original study was published, and to say nothing of the modern perspective necessary to monitor its influence. I mean, combined with today's technology, I've recreated... Bah! I can't stand to hear another word of this malarkey.
Don't mind him, but here's something to think about for the next time.
You and your sugar-coated ersatz are absolutely full of it.
Creativity is the art of hiding your influence. Now let's get back to work. We should at least try to look busy.
Now that conversation was interesting because it seems to almost...
Thinking of a number between 1 and 1 Googleplex. Care to guess?
It seems to...
Inclusive.
It seems to be almost like a reference to this mod, to this game's existence, because this guy was saying he's recreating some old experiment that inspired him to get into science, and he's doing that to showcase how far the technology has progressed in the meantime. And it's very much, what this game is a fan-made recreation of Half-Life 1, made out of the love for the original, to showcase the degree to which the technology of video games has improved over time. But the other guy was not impressed with it. He said that it's pointless to just do something that was already done well in the past. So that was kind of cool self-referential thing there. Observed energy, blah blah blah. Yeah, I'm not going to read all of those probably, unless I read please. Increases in exotic matter, decrease stability or crystalline structure. This can increase resonance effect to dangerous levels. Oh, so I guess this is talking about the sample, because the sample is a crystal, right? And it says it could increase resonance effects to dangerous levels, so I guess it's another piece foreshadowing the resonance cascade.
I'm not one for idle chatter, Gordon. Just a minute, Gordon.
We can talk at lunch, Gordon.
Maxwell's demon. It's cold in here.
That's pretty hilarious, because Maxwell's demon is like a thought experiment having to do with thermodynamics. Maxwell's demon is a theoretical entity that makes one side, I think, of a container colder than the other. And I'm not sure what's the exact significance of this thought experiment, but it has something to do with thermodynamics and with testing the limits of it and whatever. And if you would assume such entity to exist, then something, it's an interesting thought experiment of some kind. And it's cool that they include such small tidbits, references to scientific laws or names of particular important scientists from history. Now, unfortunately, as I said, I'm not too well educated in science, so probably a lot of those are going to fly over my head, but it's still cool.
We can talk at lunch. This is going to have to wait, Gordon.
Contact Dr. Foreman about the positronic lenses, I think. I have no idea what that means.
Hello, Dr. Cross. They need you in the test chamber.
Wait. I almost feel like I cut him off, and it seems like he was, I don't know, trying to gather his courage to speak to a woman colleague or something. Rehearsing it in his mind.
Weren't you supposed to be in the test chamber half an hour ago?
Yeah, probably. I'm getting even more late, gallivanting around.
Morning, champ.
Hello.
Another day, another dollar. These double shifts are starting to get to me. I'm at the point now where I have to drink a cup just to go to sleep at night. Cheers.
I trust this morning finds you well. Hope you're in top form this morning, Gordon. They're serving Salisbury surprise in the cafeteria. Again. Can this wait till I'm off break?
Now you can actually break this microwave here, and funnily enough, it has a head crab setting. You can see on the left there. So if you click it too many times, it just blows up.
What the hell? You think you can fix the vending machine too, college boy?
It's
never hear the end of this.
Yeah, you best make like an atom and split.
This guy...
That was you-know-who's lunch.
Yeah, that is a reference to a scene in Half-Life Episode 2, which actually references this because it's...
Access the mail server?
Because this is another faithful recreation of an interaction from the original Half-Life. Now, this guy has a lot of catchphrases, funny ways to tell you to get lost.
Coffee cup?
So it's nice if you try to talk to him.
You better make like a prom dress and take off. You better make like a baby and head out. You better make like a nut and bolt.
I don't even know what that means. It's probably an English idiom I'm not familiar with. Like, what do nuts and bolts have in common?
You better make like diarrhea and run.
That's pretty foul.
You better make like a bread truck and haul buns. You better make like a missile and cruise. You better make like a busboy and get the fork out of here. You better make like traffic and jam. You better make like a prom dress and take off.
Okay, he's starting to repeat himself.
Why do we all have to wear these ridiculous ties? And these ludicrous penny loafers. Nobody here has an eye for fashion. Does this lab coat make me look fat? I'm rather busy now. Later, Gordon.
Now, in Gordon's locker, you can find his diploma from the MIT, and also this curious photo of a baby. Now, I'm not sure who that is, like both in universe and out, because from what I know, Gordon does not have children, so I would assume that's part of his extended family. I'm going to look for information about that and post it in the description. Like, I would guess probably out of the universe, it's like one of the developers' baby or something. And there's also a battery for the HEV suit, which I'm going to pick up just in a moment.
Rat. No toilet paper. Be a dear and fetch me a roll of toilet paper.
You can actually do that, and you can even get an achievement for that.
Hello? Hello? Oh, thank heavens! I'm in dire need of some toilet paper.
Okay, so it's time to finally don the famous HEV suit. It's a really cool moment in the mod with a piece of cool music, so I'm going to shut up and let you enjoy that.
Welcome to the HEV Mark IV protective system for use in hazardous environment conditions. High impact reactive armor activated. Atmospheric contaminant sensors activated. Vital sign monitoring activated. Automatic medical systems engaged. Defensive weapon selection system activated. Munition level monitoring activated. Communications interface online. Have a very safe day.
Yeah, so this is a really cool intro to the HEV suit. You get to see all of the systems come online one by one, and the HUD starts to appear, you know, your HP and your suit level. It also reviews your weapons, and at one point it gives you Gordon's height and weight. He's like 5'11", which I think translates to about 1.8 something meters, so he's pretty high. Pretty tall. That's the way you say it. Pretty high. He's pretty high in the Freeman's Mind series, which is like a pretty popular YouTube series where a guy narrates supposedly what Gordon's thinking, you know, given the fact that he's a silent protagonist, but all of his thoughts are pretty deranged. Like, I thoroughly recommend it. I'm going to post a link in the description to that. And I think it said he weighs something around 180 pounds, which is pretty hefty actually. So I wonder, is it with the suit? Like, that would probably make more sense, because 180 pounds is around 90 kilograms, I think, which is, quite a lot for a scientist, for something who's not exercising, regularly. He would have to be pretty, like he would have to have some body fat, and from what I've seen on the art, he's pretty lean. But don't quote me on that. Obviously, being Polish, I can't exactly convert to the American system, fluently in my mind.
Power 30%.
Ah, I remember my days in the hazardous environment suit. Of course, at the time, it was Mark III. Mind you, the base color wasn't so loud, and the helmet wasn't optional, or ventilated. There wasn't an integrated waste disposal system either. Count your lucky stars. Have you ever seen those electromyographic sensors in the old biomechatronic Mark I? A marvel of modern engineering. I worked on the underwater breathing apparatus for the suit, but it was eventually discarded. I say, that suit certainly flatters your fundament.
Is this guy hitting on me?
Please excuse me, Gordon.
Because I don't want to sound insensitive, but from the way he was written, talking about fashion and being concerned about looking fat, he seems to be written as a bit of a stereotypical gay character. So, him hitting on Gordon wouldn't be that big of a surprise. Now, I finally have the zoom function, which would let me inspect some of the details of the environment in greater, detail. Actually,
Don't count on it. If anything, you'll just have more to do.
Yeah, like dying, for example. I wanted to take a look at the conversation. If it's around here somewhere. Nope. Well, I'm going to find it later on different computers as well. Now, you can see on the blue screen of death that...
It is still very much so your problem. Now, do we have a problem? No. Really? I don't see a cup of coffee with 2 sugars and no cream in my hand. Do you? No. Well, that looks like a problem to me. Make haste, man. They're waiting for you down in the test chamber.
It's a lot of fun to listen to them bicker. You can see that they were apparently playing Half-Life 2, and it broke their computers, which I guess makes sense, because not only is it a game from the future at this point, but a 2000 computer would probably have a lot of problems actually running Half-Life 2.
Can this wait?
Go right on through, sir. Looks like you're in the barrel today. Knock 'em dead down there, Gordon. We can talk on my lunch break.
Okay.
Dr. Freeman, can't you see I'm busy?
Now, I was always kind of perplexed by those screens, because I don't see... because they seem to be mechanical as opposed to electronic, because they seem to be made of those segments and rotating, and I don't see the purpose of that. First of all, it looks downright ugly, and it makes the text a little difficult to read. But second, I would think, with, what's the point of that, really? Technology, yeah, that's one of those robots. Is it saving costs or whatever? Because given the scope of this place, what would it hurt them to install actual monitors? It would be even better in a way, because, if you have a mechanical advert like that...
I've oft been told my left side was better.
Was it a reference to the fact I was standing on the That's quite cool, actually. I wonder if that was actually dependent on that, or if it was a random thought. But yeah, if you have a mechanical advert like that, then obviously you're only limited to displaying the images that are sort of already there, printed on it. But if you had a monitor, you could display whatever you want on there. So I'm not quite sure why they went this route. To be honest, I was always kind of annoyed by it. I just don't understand it. Maybe there's something to it that I'm too stupid to comprehend. I want to check this office over here. Oh, it's closed. Safety. Our record speaks for itself. Again, just you wait a little bit. Innovative. Our tram system is really cool. It's interesting how all of the other pieces are sort of informative, and professionally written, informing you about the capacity of the dam, the power output and whatever, and then you have the piece telling you about how the tram is cool.
Did you catch that last fluctuation? It's nothing to worry about. Maybe later, Gordon. We should harness the remaining photonic energy to ensure resonance control. Double-check the Brewster's plate's angles and make sure the superluminescent diodes are protected from optical feedback. How curious. The acousto-optic modulators are on the fritz again. I assure you, we've compensated for any contingency. Not now, Gordon. Hold on for...
What's up, Doc? It's been a mess down here this morning. Have fun. Whew, I'm bushed. Standing around can take a lot out of you. Think we could all use a little R&R, know what I mean? Days like this make me glad all I have to do is just stand around and look pretty. Look at all these white coats running around like chickens with their heads cut off. Not for me. No, sir. I was never cut out for this scientific techno-babble. Sure as hell don't know how a quark works, but the quarks do, and that's the important thing. Man, this job is boring me to tears.
I've got this under control, Gordon. We can talk later, Gordon.
Can this wait?
Again, the highly educated people of this facility have demonstrated a thorough misunderstanding of how trash cans actually work.
Hello. If another instrument malfunctions today, I'm going to explode.
Oh, you're probably...
Please relax. Things could be much, much worse.
You probably are going to explode in a more direct way than you would have ever liked. Okay, that's nothing interesting.
Wouldn't it be fantastic to get some pure readings for a change?
Gordon, there you are.
Nice of you to finally join us, Doctor.
We've just sent the sample down to the test chamber.
We've boosted the anti-mass spectrometer to 105%. Bit of a gamble, but we needed the extra resolution.
The administrator is very concerned that we get a conclusive analysis of today's sample. I gather he went to some lengths to get it.
They're waiting for you, Gordon. In the test chamber.
Right. Come on then. I'll walk you down.
It's very iconic how he rolls the R. It's actually something that was recreated again quite faithfully from
the new experiment.
From the original, and it was funny how
Greetings, Eli.
They even included that in the subtitles.
I trust this morning finds you well.
Gordon, good morning. I'm glad you're here. These last-minute changes, They're a bit strange to just... Oh! It's about to go critical.
What in the blazes is going on with our equipment?
It was never meant to do this in the first place.
It's nothing we can't handle ourselves, Eli. Run along, Gordon. We'll be but a moment. Go on, Gordon. We'll take it from here.
Does this say noob? It kind of almost looks like it.
By Becquerel's ghost! The radiation level is off the charts. Please excuse me, Gordon. You know, this is far from the glory I had envisioned as an undergrad.
How so?
I've got 2 PhDs and an Ørsted medal, yet I find myself doing work best suited for an intern.
Please, you do very meaningful work here.
Really? Push that button. Walk over here. Push this one. Stand and stare at the screen. Walk back over there. Push another button. Again.
Come now, you're overreacting.
I don't know how much longer I can abide these perfunctory tasks. I need more time for myself.
Don't kid yourself. You wouldn't know what to do with free time if you even had any.
That tears it. I'm going to check with the office upstairs and see how many vacation days I've accrued over the past 25 years. It's high time I took a break from all this.
Certainly, but before you do, activate the electron multiplier and report the reading from the micro-channel plates.
I think this is actually
just a minute, Gordon.
Like a reference to what Gordon does, because, you know, even with him being practically a theoretical physicist, in practice, all he does in game, aside from shooting and fighting aliens, is literally flip a switch and push a card, which are both things that a totally unqualified person could have done.
We can talk at lunch, Gordon.
Oh, there you are. Everybody's been looking for you, hombre.
Anything to add?
No time for cold feet, Chief. Step right up. You've come all this way. Suit or no suit, I sure hope you weren't planning on having kids. You know, it does cost money to keep that door open. Have at 'em, Doc.
It probably does, actually.
You don't want to keep your adoring fans waiting now, do you? Hey, catch me later. We'll talk about that science stuff some more.
Okay, let's go in.
Here he is. I'm afraid we'll be deviating a bit from standard analysis procedure today, Gordon.
Yes, but with good reason. This is a rare opportunity for us. This is the purest sample we've seen yet.
And potentially the most unstable.
Now, as long as we follow standard insertion procedures, everything will be fine.
I don't know how you can say that. Although I will admit that the possibility of a resonance cascade scenario is extremely unlikely. I just don't
Gordon doesn't need to hear all this. He's a highly trained professional. We've assured the administrator that nothing will go wrong.
Yes, you're right. Gordon, we have complete confidence in you.
Well, go ahead. Let's let him in now.
Now, let me check my quick save because... what is it? F6? Yep. Because I want to show you something.
You're just postponing the inevitable. Just go on and get it over with.
The higher-ups will have our heads if we delay this experiment any longer. Once this is all over, you can slip out of that HEV and get back to the real work.
Paperwork. Lots and lots of paperwork. Catching the opening night jitters, Gordon? Can't say I blame you.
Don't worry, Dr. Freeman. You'll do just fine.
Are you waiting for something, Gordon?
He's just savoring the moment. One day he'll look back to this as the beginning of his illustrious career.
Well, in a way,
Need for performance anxiety, Dr. Freeman.
it's actually true. It's just a different
You're
career
a seasoned pro by now.
than you would have imagined for a scientist. Okay, I think that's all they have to say.
Testing. Everything seems to be in order.
All right, Gordon. Your suit should keep you comfortable through all this. The specimen will be delivered to you in a few moments. Now, if you would be so good as to climb up and start the rotors, that way we can bring the anti-mass spectrometer to 80% and hold it there until the carrier arrives.
Now first, there's a emergency shutdown that's broken. It's offline and it says needs fixing ASAP, which is again another piece
Dr.
of
Freeman,
foreshadowing.
please.
But what I wanted to show you is that if you enable it, the beam, and then don't interact with it for enough time, it's going to actually explode on its own and kill you even before
Gordon,
the whole game.
Are you not hearing me? Climb up and start the rotors, please.
Before the whole game actually begins. So I think I'm going to end with that, and then in the next one proceed with the actual experiment.
Very good. We'll take it from here.
Power to stage 1 emitters in 3, 2, 1. Seeing predictable phase ranges. Stage 2 emitters activating now.
Gordon, we cannot predict how long the system can operate at this level, or how long the reading will take. But please work as quickly as you can.
Overhead capacitors 105%. It's probably not a problem, rocketry, but I'm showing a small discrepancy in... Well, no, it's no expected that. Sustaining sequence.
We've just been informed that sound is ready for you. It should be coming up to you at any moment. Look to the delivery system for your specimen. Standard insertion. Non-standard specimen. Go ahead, swap the carrier to the analysis point.
What is he doing in there?
Keep the point up. Go ahead, Gordon.
Well, maybe I'm mistaken actually. Maybe I remembered it wrong. Well, I'll give it some time. Well, I guess I was correct. You do die if you wait too long, and you even get an achievement for that. Okay, so I guess that's a pretty interesting moment to end the episode. I'm going to start the next one with the proper experiment and then start the game, as it's intended to be. But for now, that's all for this one, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!